This is war. It's called information operations, information warfare.
Something happened about 4 months ago at the Davos Forum when the president had just been sworn in. The communist Chinese president was there. He said, don't worry, we'll help defeat American populism. We'll help the EU defeat it also in Europe. We'll help give money, and we'll also give expertise on censorship. And then Computer Weekly and all these other publications came out and said, oh, China's right about censoring right-wingers. Look at the great system they have in China. Yeah, they kill Buddhists and sell their organs. I mean, you're reading this, not believing it. And then you realize the communist Chinese with 1,300,000,000 slaves are coordinating with the Democratic Party publicly on how to shut down Trump and InfoWars and you. And then you ask liberals, you go, hey, why don't you help us? They go, shut up, traitor. You're a Russian agent. See, because Russia is under globalist attack as well. Russia isn't doing anything. It's a fact. And then I know people that will end up starting to bash Russia just to get the media off their back. And they go, I know it's not true, but you know, we kind of got to play along with this. I'm not playing along with any of it. I got a Colonel Shaffer clip I'm going to play right now. Then a Dana Bash one I want to play again. And then we got a bunch of guests coming on today. But Joel Skousen, what his uncle was like the head of the FBI in one division and wrote The Naked Communist and all the rest of it. He's an expert on what's going on with all this. But they're making the deep state move on Trump right now because he's trying to restore the republic. That's why Trump's so angry. Day 70, he kind of sideways a little bit, thinking, okay, I'll compromise. Something Trump really never even does because they were trying to bring him down, and plus he couldn't get his agenda through. They took that as weakness, and they upped the ante to try to totally take him out. See, when Trump never compromised any, he had that aura of invincibility and total support by his backers. But the globalists knew if they could get him to just do a little bit of sideways stuff, he'd lose his support from us partially, and then he could fall. And then once he goes down, the whole republic can be brought to its knees. Then the economy will be imploded. The government will pick the winners and losers. Most people will line up to do whatever they're told to be part of it. And the rest is history. America will pass into history, and the new dark age of globalism will begin. Here is Colonel Shaffer breaking down exactly what's happening on Fox News.
The president, for better or for worse, is the ultimate classification or declassification authority. He can talk to anybody about anything, no matter what the level is. And beyond that, I understand that things were instantly twisted by the National Security Council staff and leaked, obviously, to the Post. And there was a very delayed, very muted response where they should have been right up there outlining the facts right up front about how this is completely false. So I think they, like you point out, the White House communication staff has to believe they are now at a state of war. This is war. It's called information operations, information warfare, and clearly the other side, the deep state and the Clinton folks, and I have to say some folks on the Republican side are all lining up. The battle lines are drawn, and it's time for people to understand how to deal with this as if like it's a war.
The deep state is committed to maintaining this assault. It seems. I mean, we're not even 4 months into the Trump presidency, and the assaults continue, the attacks continue.
Hit pause.
And we have.
I want to play this from the start. It's a long clip. When we come back, I'll play it again and then play the conclusion. I want to tell the criminals in the deep state, because there's 2 different deep states, probably 3 or 4, but 2 big ones. You've been identified. Globalism is unelected. It's unaccountable. It's anti-human. It's anti-God. It's anti-Christ. It's pro-Islam. You're never going to get away with this. And, you know, a sick part of me, a Machiavellian part of me, actually hopes they bring down Trump because it's going to be bloody and it's going to be bad and it's going to be hard, but it'll ensure our victory long term. Because if Trump just kind of stalemates and kind of fixes a few things, but he gets stagnated, then it'll just kind of permeate. And, oh, did patriotism fail? Did free market fail? But if you want a real war, a 1776... I've already done my stuff, telling the truth. I've already set the groundwork and already got the whole info war ready. I've already got the battle space ready. I've looked at it real careful. You guys are going to lose 90%. Trump has to move against these people, and I know high-level folks are advising Trump to get rid of this whole nest of leakers he's got. Go on the offense, indict Hillary. You've got her cut and dry. Go after Obama. They want to fight. They're about to get one. Because if we don't, they're not going to give us quarter. They don't want to make a deal. They don't want to compromise. The globalists want to win because they know the people all over the world are turning against them. Here is Colonel Shaffer breaking down the info war.
For better or for worse, is the ultimate classification or declassification authority. He can talk to anybody about anything, no matter what the level is. And beyond that, I understand that things were instantly twisted by the National Security Council staff and leaked, obviously, to the Post. And there was a very delayed, very muted response where they should have been right up there outlining the facts right up front about how this is completely false. So I think they, like you point out, the White House communication staff has to believe they are now at a state of war. This is war. It's called information operations, information warfare, and clearly the other side, the deep state and the Clinton folks, and I have to say some folks on the Republican side are all lining up. The battle lines are drawn, and it's time for people to understand how to deal with this as if like it's a war.
The deep state is committed to maintaining this assault. It seems. I mean, we're not even 4 months into the Trump presidency, and the assaults continue, the attacks continue, and we have, as you indicated at the outset, the New York Times and the Washington Post, these are no longer fake news. I mean, they are, it's an entire psyops. It is a disinformation campaign from previous, former journalists. What do you think, having some experience with all of the above, would be an appropriate response by this White House?
Well, two things. First, you're completely correct on the papers. I mean, this is they become Pravda, just to use a Cold War metaphor, and it's shameful. Secondly, regarding the very fact, and look, I've met with senior intelligence officials now in place, and Lou, they have to go through and sort out who is going to be actual career people who are going to do their job and those who are loyal to the previous administration. And some of these folks have transitioned from what we call political appointee jobs into career jobs. So you got to go through. So my recommendation, I'll tell you what I said, you need to go fire two levels down. Everybody below you 2 levels, fire them. Be done with it. Thank you for your service to America. It's time for you to find a new job. And then start looking for people who are going to be loyal to the American people and to the policies of this president. That's what you've got to do. It's just that simple.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.